I don't know whether the audio is coming out nice or not. So please tell me in the chat if you guys have joined. Is the audio coming out fine? Actually, I don't have my phone where I'm actually watching this live stream because there are just too many screens to now look at. You can tell me in the chat if the audio is coming out fine. Okay, now I can look at the live stream. I think it's coming out fine. All right, so the plan is to watch the Figma config, and I just posted in one of my group, right, which is our mafia group. It is called the hard mode mafia. Initially, I thought I'll call it builder mode mafia, but then I thought builder and mafia does not. I mean, it goes so well with, I mean, with each other that maybe police would come after me. So that's why I didn't say builder mode mafia. It's hard mode mafia. And I was posting that this might be the last config that we are watching if Figma does not share anything worthwhile for us to tinker with, right? For us, as in designers, design engineers, wannabe design engineers like me, or wannabe design builders, product builders like me. So let's see if Figma shares something interesting, announces something interesting today. And have you guys registered for the event? I don't think there is a YouTube live stream of this event. I think they're going to stream it on their own platform. So I have registered it. You can go to Figma. You can probably search for Figma config and register. I don't know why there is a long registration process, by the way. So one of the mandatory field in there is you have to give your working email. Like, I mean, I don't know why it is required, to be very honest. If somebody is not in college, not in a corporate, maybe looking for a job, like they didn't think about them. Yeah, where to watch config. Actually, in the description, I don't know. Let me just check. In the description of this video, you might find the link. Let me see if this platform has given. Yep. So if you go down, you see to watch the official Figma config, I have given a figma.bot slash config 2026 virtual, whatever, right? I've given that link. You can actually go there. It is not coming as a hyperlink for whatever reason, but you can put it into your Google Chrome and then see. All right. So actually, the event will start at 9:30, but I wanted to begin this live stream so that I know technically things are going good. Yesterday, for some time, I got a new feature with icon. This code was the name on tooltip. I guess this is gonna be launched today. Okay, interesting. Something to tinker maybe. It's going to happen at 9:30. Yes, it is going to happen at 9:30. But I haven't received a email from them. Like I have got an email in general. Okay, okay, your registration is successful, etc. But I haven't got a email saying that hey, this is the live stream link and you need to join. So let's see. If any of you get a live stream link, I mean, you don't need to share it in the chat. You just tell me that hey, I have got the link, and they have started, etc. Right? Cool. While we are waiting, maybe you guys can put in the chat from where you are joining from, what are you doing, etc. Maybe you are a student, you are a working professional with X years of experience. What is your background? Which company? A little bit about you. Maybe you can share while we wait for Figma to share the link. Okay. So last we received that. Interesting. Have you tried Framer agents? What are your thoughts on it? No, I haven't tried Framer agents. How is it though? I mean, website building, I feel so many of these apps are doing, right? Website building. I mean, so many, as in not Framer. Of course, Framer is the top of the mountain, but So many of these cloud websites etc are coming up. So I'm a bit hesitant whether to actually learn all these agents within Framer or not. I would rather prefer a MCP connection where I use my Cloud Code subscription, use the best model available, and create websites. Let's see. But how is it though? You can tell me. Okay. Amonins Amokin says junior product designer, student from Morocco. Okay. Hello. And UX Abhishek is from Pune, India, doing internship, product design. Nice. Who else is joining in? Whether I'm not a very seasoned live streamer or live reactor or somebody like that, right? You can pretty much find it out from this live stream. But this is also not a very traditional live stream. This is more like all of us would be watching it on a separate screen, because if I try to project it, I'll get a copyright strike. I have read their terms and condition before doing this event. So yeah, um, the idea is to just add some ambient noise while you are watching uh, the Figma live stream. And also sometimes when you are not in a group of designers and you're watching something that you feel like, okay, I need to talk about this to somebody, you usually are not, you know uh, you're not finding people to say it, maybe until tomorrow, when you will start joining a company on the Slack, maybe you'll start posting etc. So just because for them, I just thought, there would be people who would be interested in watching this config thing together. That's why I created this live stream. It is more for you guys to be in the chat and talk about features, whatever is getting launched, what are your thoughts etc, than me talking about it. Of course I'll be talking about it, but you are also as big of a part of this live stream as I am. So yeah, cool. It's about to start in 5 minutes, but have yet not received any email. Where do you think we should go and wait? Like, is there a page where they have said that in 5 minutes we are going to start streaming, etc.? One second. Okay. Config watch party is a thing now. But yes, you're right. Config watch party is a thing, but not a lot of people do it live. So I know a lot of watch party that is being done by these friends of Figma communities in different cities, but they are being done like after 7 days, etc. Right, on the weekends, etc. So I'm not sure how much of a value that adds, because it's not really a watch party. It's more like it's a networking event for designers, which is good in itself. There is a lot of value in that. However, you're not really watching things live. People have already watched it, probably have tinkered with this softwares, with the updates, with the announcements, and then they are coming together, right? So it loses the real idea of a watch party, in my opinion. But I've never attended one. Maybe there is more to it, which I don't know. So yeah. Hmm. Let me check my email at least. So thank you for registering to attend config virtually. We are happy. Blah 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 blah. They've given me FAQ and they've given me live event terms and conditions. What am I supposed to do with it? Okay, now they are saying keynote is streaming live. Cool. I think we have got it. If you go to config.figma.com and if you have already registered, I think you would start seeing Dylan Field's photo. And I think he's going to talk about all the announcements and stuff. That's the first event. I saw the series of event that has been planned. I think first they are going to do all the product announcements. After that, they have your keynote speakers, etc. And in between, we have about 15-minute breaks. So most likely I'll not cover those keynotes, etc. If you guys want, we'll extend our chat a little bit, but I don't want to cover all of that. I am more interested in talking about the feature that they are announcing. So let's see. Oh, no need to register. Why the why the hell then I registered for that event? I gave so much data to them. Who am I? What position am I in? What is my company? My God. If it was supposed to be no registration, then why did they even register? Interesting. Then if it is not to be registered, then I'll just drop the link in the chat. And actually, I'm not using YouTube Live to stream this. I'm using a third party option called Restream, as you might already see that logo there. Because I don't want to renew this live Restream's this thing, right? Subscription. It's a bit costly now these days, right? With so many subscriptions. Like, there's a cloud subscription. Now I'm so interested in taking a cursor subscription as well. There is already Google ka subscription going on. Uh, ChatGPT subscription is also going on, but it's still cheap, so that's still fine. I'm going for ChatGPT Go for now. Right? So it just becomes too expensive after a point of time. So hence this Restream subscription also I used to have, but now I don't because it's just too costly. Also, just a question, not a job, but where have you worked before as a designer? So, okay, my history is 2012 to 2016. I studied industrial design at NIT Rourkela. 2016 to 2017, I worked as UX designer at a product company called Tally Solutions. If anybody has any relatives who are accountants or themselves being accountants, they would know. It's part of a curriculum. It's that kind of a software. It's a 33 years old software. Tally 17 to 19, and I was at NID doing my masters in interaction design, NID Bangalore. 2019 and till 2023 mid, I was at Zeta building very cool fintech products. So I was building the Sodexo for Spain, Italy, and a little bit of France as well. But most of the product didn't go live or as planned. So that's that. And also I think one of the best project that I did at Zeta was Sparrow cards. It's right now one of the highest rated credit card apps in the US. There is an asterisk to it, but yes, that's that. Then I joined HDFC Securities as a as a lead product designer, and I stayed there for 6 months. And then I joined Tide. I am currently working at Tide, and we are building some cool acquiring features for Tide. Acquiring means basically, so Tide. What is Tide? Tide is a UK based fintech where we help SMEs with their fintech problems, right? So basically, you can say right now with Tide, with so many features that we offer, we are almost like a finance operating system for SMEs across the world, right? Of course, we are live in 4 or 5 countries only, but we're doing good progress right now. So what acquiring means, or the team that I work in, acquiring basically means how does a merchant take a payment, right? There are most likely two ways: in-person payment or online payments. So I kind of take care of both the things. There is also other things to it, like there is merchant account and all those backend stuff to it as well. But yeah, most, not most, I think all of my life has gone into building fintechs, consumer centric, like B2C fintechs. So that's what I do. That's who I am. And rest of the things you can see in LinkedIn. Okay. Sage says, hey bro, has the stream started? Am I already late? Okay. I think I'll need these earphones because I feel if I even stream these audios also, right, from the event, maybe that will get flagged. So just to be careful. By the way, I learned to do this reaction videos just before doing this reaction videos. So I was on a call till 8 p.m. and after 8 p.m. I thought maybe we can do this live stream. And then I looked at how do people who watch WWE and do live stream, how do they do it? And I realized that they don't share anything, no audio, nothing. So that's how you got to do it. And I said, okay, cool. Okay. It's also on YouTube as well. What the hell? They're actually streaming it on YouTube. Crazy. They didn't schedule it. It's crazy, right? Why didn't they schedule it? Okay, it hasn't started, but bro, they should have some countdown. Something should be going on, right? Like some animation, something. Maybe they didn't think too much about it. I think that's been the theme from Figma since the last 2 years. They're not thinking too much about what are people struggling with that we should help. So, how about Figma Make? How about Figma Slides? I don't know. Have you guys started using Figma Slides over, say, something like Google Slides for cross function presentations? I have never seen anybody do that. Mainly because, let's say, at Tide, we have a Google subscription, right? So, if we are doing any kind of presentation, we want a lot of people to participate in it, not just designers, right? So, we want the product managers, we want the other teams to participate in creating that presentation, and hence it does not make sense to have a Figma slide presentation. Anybody else has a different opinion on it? Anybody's company is actually, uh, using it or not? Subhashni, UX designer with MDes from NIFT Delhi, thanks for coming live. Okay, all right, nice to know you. All right, we'll be starting soon. Config, it's still in that page. They're not started. 3,214 people are watching Figma's live. How many people are watching our live? Are there 10 people? Oh, damn, we have 48 people. That's a good number. Nice. So, the best way to watch it, guys, would be like you have your config there and you also have this one open somewhere. If you can split screen, that's nice. Otherwise, also, it's okay. I'll fill in with my audio. I'm using Figma for everything. Okay. That's true for me as well, that I try to use Figma for as many things as possible, but I'm also finding that Excel sheet is a much better tool. So Google sheet most of the time. I mean, I think that's also the case, right? Once you grow in the ladder, right, you would start you know using your primary design tool less and less and start using Excel sheets, Google Slides more and more. So nice. And Mihir Sharma says, "Hey, I saw the Product Designer 3 opening at Tide. I would love to connect on LinkedIn and share my portfolio for a quick review. Would that be okay?" So the thing is, there has been a lot of backlog in my uh, LinkedIn messages right now that I need to reply to. So I've always tried. I've always tried to, you know, go through that backlog, but that backlog has become so big. Like at least 30, 40 messages are there that I want to go through. Usually, what happens is a lot of people want the referral, right? Let's be, I mean, candid about it. Let's be straightforward about it, right? A lot of people want the referral, but what happens is, usually when I go through, like when I see so much messages, usually the kind of messages that I reply to are people whom I know in general, right? Like, for example, my friends and seniors or juniors from NID, or folks from Zeta whom I have worked with, or folks from companies that I have worked with, or folks who I've actually worked with, right? In a single team. Those are the people usually who get the preference, right? Not saying that I have not referred other people as well. I've referred a hell bunch of people for Tide and its positions, because we have been hiring since the last 8 months quite actively. Like every time there is a opening always there, right? And these are not ghost jobs. There are actually, like I'm telling you, there are teams where we are actually looking for designers to join, and designers are joining every month, right? So that's happening. It's not a ghost job, that I can assure you for sure. But the problem is with referrals is that, with me, right, the problem is because I'm kind of little bit public here and there. So the problem is a lot of people do reach out to me, and the way I can only filter is the people who are, you know, okay, it has started. The people whom I know, I try to let Dylan come to the stage and present. I think the config has started. Okay, quite inspirational. Everybody has been saying design is dead. These people are saying code is dead, or the utility of code is dead. Let's see. It's quite a lot of people. Spirit, we are here, bro. Mhm. That's true. Things are way simpler. That's a very random statement to make, to be honest. Like, commute has always been important. Like, yeah, that's true. You guys can do on the live stream as well. Just how he's saying, give a hi. You can two people. You can also do a hi in the chat and tell who you are, what you're doing, etc. Yeah, they've actually created a design is dead cap as merchandise, which is funny. Hmm. By doing what? Like, well, I think looking at the people's reaction when he's stopping and he's expecting a lot of people to clap, and I feel a lot of people are not clapping. I think a lot of people are not buying it completely until he shows something interesting, because it's all talk till now. So maybe people are not so warmed up. Let's go. New materials and new tools. Sounds interesting. Let's see. I like how it is not so rehearsed like Apple's keynote, etc. No one ever said that. Okay. So he was expecting a reaction. Code is material for design for people to understand the philosophical stuff and react to it. Thank God. Nico is going to save. Didn't start as great, I feel, but at least if they start presenting good stuff, I think that has always been their strength. Not talking but delivering. So I'm pretty sure they'll deliver. I'm also watching Figma stocks. I wanted to invest, but it was too much task to invest in international stocks. But yeah, are they going to launch some shaders? That is true. We need a canvas for whatever is generated using code. What the fuck is this material? What do they mean by material? Damn. Let's go. Let's go. Live prototype, is it? It's nice. But what about my GPU? What if so many animation just fires up my GPU? I'll have to be very careful about that. Let's see. Crazy nice. Build it with code. Okay, that's what somebody was talking about earlier, that they have access to this. Nice. If you're still there in the chat, let us know if you have access to it. Nice. That's useful because community based building has always been the way, right? So GitHub integration is really good. It would be nice to see how they are going to add comments to these pages, right? Because I think with a linear canvas it's easy, but now with scrollable canvas with deep pages, how does somebody add comments? And how does somebody access comments? Okay, makes sense. Makes sense. I mean, wow, this is a live demo. That's crazy. They have so much guts to do that live. It's crazy. This is what I like about some of these kind of presentations, right? It's not like Apple where everything is recorded because they're just too safe. But hats off to Figma for doing this live demo. That's nice. That's nice. I think based on that, you can give comments and that would work. Well done. Well done. The stock should go up now. Why is it not going up? It's actually going down. Is that how you replace components? Like I've tried earlier, but I remember it didn't work that smoothly. Nice. Interesting. So it is going to just do the delta, not like rebuild it from grounds up. Otherwise, there will be a lot of issues, right? It might just fuck up the original design. So they're just going to look at the delta and fix it, which is not a big deal, I think. And world has moved ahead of it. But anyway, this is good to have. So you make change on the canvas, it reflects in the code. That's nice. That's right. Exploring is actually much easier on the canvas. That's true. Exploring and coordination, right? It's a cool feature, but somehow somebody needs to tell me how does it fit into a general org? Like, are we the front end engineers now? Somebody needs to tell us. That's true. They have been going hard on make. They think that it's going to really transition people from designers to builders or designers to design engineers, etc. So that's been the primary focus, which is interesting. Closed beta for full seats, not for other seats. Interesting. Full seat users on all plans. Is free a plan? Starter plan. So by material, I think they are going to say a vector is a material, code is a material, raster is a material. I think that's what they are going to say. But let's wait and figure out. Interesting. ETA. Nice. How do you like it so far? What do you think about this feature? Live prototypes inside or live coded prototypes inside Figma. I think it's a good start, but you'll have to tinker to see whether they are coherent or not. Like, what about my design system? Can I use it? And those kind of things, right? What about creating a code in React versus HTML, CSS, etc.? So those are questions to be answered. But let's see. Have you guys tried Weave or a similar thing? I think FreePeak has a similar workflow. A lot of product actually has a similar workflow. You put in a lot of instructions, reference together to create an output, and once you change some of these, nodes, the output also changes. So I think we have seen these kind of workflows earlier. But let's see what's new. That's true. I mean, the coherency with the design system thing is actually true. I've also tried many things, but it's not as coherent with the design system. But it's also a matter of time because the design system also has to be compatible for your AIs. So there is a lot of work that is to be done in from both the end. You got to design the design system for AI compatibility, and the AI has to be intelligent to use it. Both ways, people have to come together. Exactly. What about the workflow, right? I was also concerned about the same thing. Are we now the front end engineers, and how are we going to push it to the main branch? So let's see. Let's wait and see. This is something that we have seen node-based editing in various apps. That's true. It would be really nice if this entire thing actually is built into a design system, right? So let's say the design system team creates a workflow and they share that workflow across. And if I were to create a product photography, I'll just borrow the workflow that is there in my design system, say product photography, and nice, and it goes and it absorbs that style basically, right? It would be nice to be a part of design system actually. Figma Weave, interesting. Okay, nice. But as in sharing the same workflow by saying different names to it, because it seems like the workflow is at least the same. The effect of it is different. That's a different thing. Replace background. Okay, cool. Nice. It's just good to have. Was he expecting a crowd here or showing the same thing 5 times? Nice. There is a Weave credit. Are you kidding me? There is a different credit system for this. Kidding me? Can't it be just AI credits? Weave has a different credit. AI different credit. I just hope they don't do that. I just hope they have just one currency in the interface. Otherwise, it's going to be messy for us. My God, is this guy a DJ or something? He just lit up the room. So nice. That's what I'm also seeing. The Figma, Figma is going down. I don't know why though. What was the market expecting out of them? Like some, big announcement or something. I mean, I'm not saying it is going down as such. It just went up a little bit and went down. It didn't go like full up as such. Thank God I was not able to invest in Figma. Agent Express. Prompt to generate plugins. That's nice. And anyway, you can do that in cloud as well today. But yeah, inbuilt one would be nice. It would be much useful because you can create very personalized plugins for yourself. And if you think that it's great, then you can probably share it in community as well. So looks interesting. My God, the credits. I hope it is cheap. Yeah, with you, Aster. I also don't know if the current credit limit will be enough. That's true. I think all these tools are finding innovative ways to burn our credits so that they can charge more. But yeah, that's why I was talking about the MCP thing because at least I'll try to maintain only one credit system, which is cloud or whatever, right? But maintaining too many credit systems is just again headache. Let's see. Everybody knows Miggy from Figgy. That's nice. The bento grid plugin looks nice. Well, they were expecting a reaction from the audience at this point, but this racetrack thing, I don't know. I mean, would you create like a entire plugin for it? Maybe yes. Maybe if your app is around this, maybe yes. So I don't know. Maybe it's required to build these kind of plugin, but definitely useful. Definitely useful. It's not like it's completely useless. Of course, we can build the entire thing somewhere else using Cursor, Cloud, etc. We can create our custom software, but this is also fine. I mean, at least you have everything in line. Everything is happening inside Figma, like a lot of people do, right? We just talked about it some time back, where we said, "Hey, we kind of try to use Figma for everything." So that makes sense. Have custom plugins, custom softwares built into it, so that we can create our own workflows, etc. That is true. I have been doing that, by the way, in my builder wala WhatsApp group, right? If you go to my Instagram, in Instagram, I have my link to the group. I don't know if you're part of it. Every day I share what I'm building. I'm just building custom softwares for myself, or not just myself, like for my workflows, for content creation, or for design, whatever, right? So if you want to be part of that, you can be part of that. But in spirit, I understand what they're trying to do. They want to help you with building your own tools for your own workflow, which makes a lot of sense. Generative plugins. That sounds interesting. Prabal says at some point its subscription and cost came. If companies are buying cloud subscription, they will ask their team to use that over Fig, I guess. You are absolutely right. It's it's about where do you want to spend money on, right? So it's not just individuals, but also for company. They don't want 5,000 subscription. They would like to stick to one. Told you, if they're talking about materials, they're going to bring in shaders. Here we are. Shaders, the cool thing for Twitter. The new dribblization of design is with shaders. So let's go. The more workflows you have on a software, the more difficult it will be to move to some other software. It will become more true. But if somebody copies your tool and gives it for cheap, most people will move to it. I mean, there are different modes for Figma still, but let's see. Let's look at the shaders. I'm really interested to see what they have done here. I mean, this is solved by so many other players in the market, but let's see. Let's go. Why is it typing? I'm a bit busy right now. Lol. Why don't they have a dictation feature, by the way? Like there should be a mic I can talk to it. But anyway, I think that's a good addition. That would be a good addition to it. Okay. Okay. Shadow fields sounds interesting. For some reason, it reminds me of Dragon Ball Z, where Super Saiyans used to charge and create those yellow fires around them, right? It seems like that. Interesting. Interesting. Everyone is now just going to create a lot of dazzling effects and then call it test. That's what Twitter has been doing, by the way. Put in a lot of dazzling effect and call it test. Hey, Rog, I see your question about career, etc. But I know the theme of the stream is to be focused on the config. So if we get some time, maybe I'll come back to your question. But yeah, hang on till then. Next time, if you can use OBS, we can see the live feed and your video comments overlapped. The video comment is already there, right? Is it not showing it for you? Let me see. The video comments is showing, right? I can actually share the config video that is getting played also, but the thing is, it will be a copyright issue. It's a cool shader, but the thing with shader is you can also f it up, like just he just did, right? That's the thing with shaders. It's a great effect. It's a very controlled effect. You can control it through code, but if you move it around, if you there is a good chance that you can mess it up if you don't understand how it works. But anyway, looks good. Looks good. Come on. So far, so good. Wow. You can see a backside of the page. So interesting. Damn. By the way, I didn't know that's how you create a page turning effect using shaders, etc. You guys knew? I always wondered how do you do it. I thought you do some animation in the third axis, etc. No, that's so you can't see the config video here mainly because that's intentional. If I share it here, it will be a copyright issue. So hence, I'm not sharing that. You can see config in a separate window by yourself. If I start sharing it, people would, I mean, Figma would go after me. Anyway, I'm not saying very good things about Figma so far. So GUI merge. Yes, we know how it's going to work. You bring things together, it's going to stick to them. Length distortion. Wow. Effects are stackable. I think all of us would need a Mac M5 Pro Max to run these stuff. Yes, cool effect. It's nice. I think everybody is going to now, come up with a lot of their own style and stuff, and that could be a mode for designers in the sense that we are still the taste makers in the company, right? So I think it helps, you know, push that story forward, which is, hey, if you are thinking of creating a cool new style, we got to talk to a designer and stuff. So yeah, it helps propagate that designers are going to come up with taste for your company. By the way, they're talking about materials and stuff. Are they going to introduce sound design by any chance? I think in Figma, it's a lot of jugaad that you have to do in order to do a little bit of sound prototypes. Let's see. Man, this guy is quite tall, isn't it? Or is it because of his pants that he's looking very tall? Seems very tall. Nice. The one person in yellow pants, he seems very tall. Anshul says, Bharat, how are you? I'm doing good. How are you? I'm doing a live stream after so many days. I'm just happy that the live stream is going. My laptop has not hit it and died on me. So it's still good. Still good. It would be nice if the shaders also becomes a good marketplace content because creating a shader requires creativity. Not everyone will be able to create good ideas with shaders from scratch. That's true. It needs creativity. It needs taste, and 100%. I think there will be a marketplace for it. I think there are already a lot of marketplace for these kind of shaders, but it's only going to grow from here. The key framing of nice, good wordplay. Let's go, Lottie files. Lottie, by the way, just released a new feature 1 hour back, or maybe 1.5 hour back, which is a good. Uh, it's a it's a plugin where you can directly create motion inside Figma. But now they have done a native. Nice. It has to be agentic motion, by the way. I can't now do keyframing motion and that bullshit. I need to talk to an agent, say, "Hi, I need the motion to be like this," and that should happen, right? That's what Lottie, by the way, launched. So I just hope Figma also has the same features, which is agentic motion design. It's timeline based, good. That's not that cool. It's okay. Is expecting reaction on everything or what? But these motions are very, I mean, not very advanced, by the way. All of these are just simple transitions, maybe. It seems like just transformations from this demo so far. Let's hope there are more complicated things that one can do. That's fine. Nothing big. There was a tool called Phase. They ran out of money. I was actually promoting Phase at one point of time, uh, and they were doing the exact same thing, which is canvas-based, timeline-based animation. But anyway, I think a lot of companies have tried to do this, which is fine. We need the agentic motion. Come on, Figma, give it. Because I don't want to create all of this from scratch. I want the agent to do 90% of the thing, and I finish the last 10%. Oh, you guys know Face? That's nice. I was so behind them. I really thought that they would do well, but they ran out of money and they had to close. And this phase as a brand manager went to Lotte after the company shut down. So if you find me promoting Lotte someday, then don't be surprised because at least I'm a good friend with the brand manager, not with anybody else. Nice. At least they have tried agents, and of course, like in the era of AI, you got to have agents doing all of this. But taste for that agent is very important, by the way, right? And it shows up in motion because it's a very small snippet of work, but you got to be very careful about motion. So at least there is agent which is good, gives a starting point. I just the problem is if the agent does not have taste, it will give you a starting point which is so worse that you would rather say I would start from zero than from negative, right? So I just hope the taste for that agent improves over time. And by taste, I mean the coherency also, right? Sometimes we give a lot of command, but that's nice, right? I think, I mean, I just got distracted by this motion that it created. But yeah, sometimes we give a lot of commands, but it does not follow our command, right? So coherence is needed. Taste is also needed. Taste is basically the command that I gave. There are certain things that they need to understand by themselves and feel it. That's basically taste, right? I tell them to animate and get that kind of emotion from this animation. They should be able to fill in the blanks or fill in the spaces. That's basically taste for motion design. But see, over time, I think the agents are going to become better. But at least they have this. What is happening to the Figma stocks? Is it going up? No. What is the world expecting out of this config, man? I think that's also because only 9,420 people are attending it. I think it has to go on to X and Twitter in order for us to see some decent change in Figma stock price. Right now, very less people are watching it. That's a very cool animation. Damn. There's a lot of stuff built in, man. Can I put a 3D model and animate it? Oh, wow. Just to say thank you to get a reaction. But that's interesting, right? Like you can look at the entire timeline, which is shared between people, which is, hmm, that's true. Collaboration in motion design has not existed so far. I wonder why though. Is it because usually you don't have three, four motion designers working together? Motion plus shaders. Let's go. Outlines effect. Crazy. There is so much focus on this delightful effects in this presentation today, isn't it? While it's great, I think definitely a step forward in design delight, test, etc. I just wonder about all of those coding stuff that the Twitter is worried about. People are saying UI is going to die, etc., etc. Like I'm more interested in looking at the workflow. How will it integrate in the bigger workflow? How are we going to move from current workflow to this? It's cool. I think these are the kind of stuff that we have never been able to do, at least in Figma. And if we do it in After Effects, etc., it's going to basically be shared with our developers as a GIF or as a Lottie file. But now, if we share it with code, that's great. Oh, this is lovely. Path streaming. By the way, Phase also had this exact same animation for texts. Nice. Nice. It's almost like some form of After Effects inside Figma. For most of the companies, they don't need a After Effect um, this thing, right? Subscription, maybe Adobe subscription. They're really going after Adobe subscription so that the money that comes out of Adobe subscription would go into this Figma thing. Maybe let's see. That's a really nice one, right? You can apply the effect on the entire UI, not just on the asset, which is yeah, interesting. You can create bubbles floating on your entire UI, and it will have all those refraction, reflections, etc. Let's go. How do I send it to my developer? I just ask him to connect to my NCP and take it in. That's it. Yeah, that's the main difference, right? It's not raster based animation anymore. I mean, it's not a video or a GIF, it's a code based animation. Let's go. So many people are going to come up with so much of motion these days. I think all of our apps are probably going to look like Crate, if not done tastefully. I think Crate does it very tastefully. It's just that yeah, sometimes they just have too many motion in one screen. I just hope people also don't do too much of motion on one single screen. Too many innovative features. I'm a bit overwhelmed. Mansoor, there's no need to be overwhelmed. I don't think a lot of these features are going to be useful right off the bat. I mean, all of these are UX delight features. UX delight for most of the companies come at a later stage. First, we need to solve for the function. So, I mean, we can slowly figure it out. I don't think the thing is, it just makes sense now for motion designers to be, a little more expert in their own domain. So that is there. For UX designers, I think the most important thing for us is solving for the function first. Of course, delight will come second, but it's not like you cannot mix and match a lot of already existing template, etc., and do things right. The thing is, there will be taste makers in the industry, and there will be Git repos and such marketplaces. You can basically import them and tweak it and make it work. Right? You don't have to do everything from scratch. All the effect doesn't have to be done from scratch. So that's it. For example, you don't create your own fonts, right? Somebody else who is an extremely expert in their domain creates the fonts and typefaces. You just import it, use it in your own way. Similarly, I think that's how the world is going to pan out. For smaller team who cannot afford a great motion designer, they are going to basically, reuse some of the motion templates that is available out there. Shaders, motions, etc., etc. And not just designers, right? I think because of AI agents, I think anybody can create these kind of cool effects, right? So let's see. But definitely, there will be a plethora of effects that will be available for us to use. So, yeah. Okay, Dylan is back without a script, so it'll be fun. I just hope they don't add it to the subscription. Figma Motion is now a new part of subscription. I'll go mad if they do that. But so far, so good. Uh, There's a lot on the plate to consume, to be honest. Yeah. These are basically MCP. So whatever they allow, only that much you can bring in. It's not like everything you'll be able to bring in. But good. Skills are also there. Nice. Somebody please demo good skills. Yep. This is useful. UX writers skills are very useful. Jam agents, Figma slides agents. Honestly, if you create a very versatile MCP, right, and you connect it to Claude, ideally you can just prompt your way into all of these in Claude as well. Like Claude should also be able to create these designs in Figma slides and etc. All these things. Let's go. Figma motion, generative plugins, shaders, weave tools. Let's go. Good stuff. But these are all in beta. They'll not consume AI credits while in beta. But the moment it's out of beta, are you kidding me? Are you saying the code layer is going to be coming soon? Okay. Cool. I thought that's what I was going to tinker with, right? Code layers. Because that's the only thing that I thought would change my workflow, to be very honest. Like, I'll have to speak with my team and see how we can figure out a way to, hand off in a better way. But anyway, so is that the end of the Figma, this thing then? What is it called? Config, day one. Interesting. Stock is dipping? Is it? I think it is static. Oh my god. Stock has just gone down and down. Oh my god. I'm saved, guys. Thank God Grow doesn't have a feature to invest in global stocks. Maybe recently they got the permission to bring up that feature. I'm happy I have not invested. I was just thinking to invest a lot in Figma. I thought they're going to go up. I don't know what the market is expecting out of them, but it's crazy. Do you understand raise the ceiling how difficult it is going to be? Let him finish. I'll talk maybe after that. Chalo. Nice, nice, nice. The energy in the room is a bit low today. This year. Ah, let's go. India config. Crazy. I was not expecting that. Thank God. They could have done it in any other place but Bangalore. Damn. Okay, that's the only good news, or the best news at least. Figma config in Bangalore. Can you believe it? Like, what is really happening? Kunal Shah in Meta, Figma config in Bangalore. What's going on with Indranagar, man? The place has become Silicon Valley, or at least it's getting noticed. So that's crazy. Let's go. Okay, let me pause my YouTube and come back to your uh, chat. Cool. So, okay. S- Um, let me read your questions. Too many innovative features. I think we just talked about it. I think we don't have to worry about it right now. But yeah, coming to his point of raise the ceiling, right? As a designer, you understand, right? How many things are there right now to learn? You want, I mean, there is this narrative that you got to become a builder, so you're now learning to use AI to code stuff, right? And maybe automate your workflows. So you have your cloud code, cloud co-work, and all those kind of things, right? Or whatever your company has brought in, codex or cursor, whatever. That direction may people are stretched and trying to learn. In the other direction also, people think that, now maybe product managers and designers role are mixing up. So maybe I need to, learn a bit of product management, etc., right? Or learn how to influence that product management area. We're trying to learn in that direction. And now here comes test maxing from Figma. You have your shaders, you have your motion, you have all those different stuffs. Now you might be thinking that as a UI UX designer, should I, invest my time in, these kind of skills? I don't know, to be very honest. Like, if I look at our org right now, the need for motion design in our org is not that much as we need a UI UX designer, to be very fair, right? So I think it is, I mean, all of this styling, I mean, basically shaders and motion design, etc., are going to be super useful for us to stand out among our peers, like a developer or a PM. Because if we go and start doing development, we'll not do a great job, right? If we go and do PMing, we'll probably not do a great job. But if we try to increase the ceiling of what design is, right? We try to use motion design, etc., etc., and all those incredible stuff in order to make our app stand out, etc., right? Those are the kind of things that developers will not be able to do, and PMs will not be able to do as good as we would be able to do, right? So there is a moat building that can happen because of these features. But the question is, how much are these companies going to invest in higher level of design versus faster coding or faster execution or better execution, right? That's the main thing. The stock market is a good proxy to see what the industry thinks has happened with this config. But I don't know, I think like, I'm a little scared to see so many things that one person can do. It becomes a bit overwhelming, to be honest. I understand that, right? However, I don't think we have to do everything. We have to create our own profile. For example, I am a, let's say you want to build a profile, say design first front end engineer, or design first builder, or design first product manager, or just designer. Designer means you'll have to probably excel in all of the generalist design thing. But yeah, I don't know where the direction of design is going to move. It's a existential question, like Dylan said in the beginning. But yeah, there is a lot for us to play and experiment that can be a bit overwhelming but also can be a bit exciting, right? So for example, for people who don't want to dwell into cloud, people who don't want to dwell into product management, at least dwell into your own domain, which is design, and raise the ceiling, right? That's what we're trying to do. But the thing with raising the ceiling, the main problem with delight, right? Delight is anti-design system in most cases, right? Because you don't need to be creating all these delightful effects all the time in your company, right? If it can be templatized, it will most likely be templatized and put it into your repository, into your design system, and that's it, right? The moment you try to break and create new effects every time, then you are going against your design system, right? And obviously all of these things are going to, I mean, especially I'm talking about shaders, right? Shaders are going to be part of the design system. It will never be like, hey, whoever thinks of whatever shader, apply it, because it will go against your brand, right? So I think there is a lot of task for the design system team to do rather than the UI UX design team to do in terms of building the templates and shaders, etc. The designers are going to apply those shaders, but applying something that has already been created is something that even an engineer can do and a PM can do. So we are going to battle it out there as well. Anyway, I'm just sharing my raw thoughts. Will give you some food for thought before I switch it off. But yeah. Now, going to the next comment, someone made a music production tool DAW that lets you do collaborative music production called the Riffle Studio. I've not tried it. Okay, that's fine. But I was actually hoping Figma to have more tools for adding sounds to my prototype, etc. Right? Also, vibration to my prototypes, etc. Right? I think that is still missing. I don't know why. Like those things have been cracked in, I don't know, long back in Origami Studio. There was a tool called Origami Studio, probably by Meta or Facebook at that time. And I'm talking about in my college days, right? Like NID days, 2017, 18 time. At that time they used to have those features. I don't know why they never thought about haptics and sounds. They are quite important part of all of this, right? And haptics and sounds can also take your experience a notch high, right? You're talking about pushing the ceiling. That could have also happened through haptics and sounds. Anyway, cool. Maybe in India config they will do. But what a crazy thing to announce, right? There will be a config in India, and there are going to be two configs in an year, which is interesting. That means they are moving fast. Ideally, hearing that, the market should have behaved differently, but it is only going down. What the hell? Okay. Where did it start though? It started at 19. It is now at 18.43, 19.12 to 18.43. It has dipped below its, I think, is it the new low? It's almost like the new low. Okay, the lowest was in last 6 months was 16.86. Damn. So maybe it didn't work out for their stocks, but anyway, cool. Or is it like Claude has introduced something, or Codex has introduced something while all of this was happening? Because that can also create some ripple effect. No, I don't see much Claude release or anything. Notion has some release. Nothing. If Claude would have released, I would have seen in my Twitter feed in like three scrolls. But no, it's not there. Anyway, so Abhishek says I used to do things in Jitter. Now I think I'll use Figma for the motion stuff. No need to transfer stuff between tools. That's right. A lot of people were using Lottie files, etc. but you don't have to now. I think you can do it in Figma for most of the things. The main part is agentic, right? If agents can, build the first 90% of motion design in a tasteful way, then that's good. If they, you know, take it in a different direction altogether, that's a waste of our tokens. We don't want that. So that's nice. Preservation is going to be a big thing. I don't think our company is going to give us unlimited tokens ever, right? But the models are becoming smarter, especially smaller models are becoming smarter. uh, what is this new model that has come up? GLM 4 point something or 5 point something. GLM, is it 5.2? GLM 5.2. Have you guys heard about GLM 5.2? It seems to be a very small cheaper model which is coding at the level of Cloud Opus. So that direction of thought is also going on, which is, yes, we need all the tools. Token can become cheaper over time. That's the promise of open source AI. Okay, sorry, I didn't read this. New tutorials and Insta reel with comment link coming up on YouTube. Too much to teach and show now. That's true. A lot of reels are coming up. Figma just launched. Whatever, right? Figma just killed Lottie files. Figma just killed Adobe. Everybody is just killing everybody. Still, the industry is effed up. People are getting laid off. Stock dipped even more. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. People are expecting Figma to build something that can make designers become devs. Figma is keen on making designers better. People want tweets like developers are dead because of Figma. No, man. The problem is developers always outnumber designers. In any org, you would see it as like 1 is to 15, 1 is to 10 ratio. So that's that, right? We don't have a lot of strong voices behind design, but there is a lot of strong voices behind development, right? When I say strong voices, I mean like Elon Musk or Sam Altman or those kind of influencers, right? People whose opinion really matter, not like Dylan. I mean, Dylan is probably the only person whose opinion matters, and Airbnb is CEO, right? Probably those are the two really influential people whose opinion matter in that direction. But the thing with Dylan is he's already owning Figma, so he will always say good things about design. Brian Chesky, Airbnb CEO, right? His opinion also matters a lot. So sad reality is developers have good backing on Twitter in general, in the world also. Okay, you should have added Figma stock in the live stream window. It would be so much fun. Yeah, I actually don't know how to do that. There is an option to add some widget, etc., on the live stream, but I don't know how to do it. So there is a poly market ticker. Oh, that would have solved. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, let's go back to your chat. So, Excite Max, let's go. Yes, Excite Max. India seems to be a big market. India is the biggest market, man, for these kind of stuff. I mean, biggest in terms of pure numbers, not saying that people are, spending the max in Indian market, but it definitely is a huge market. I mean, if they were to do it in Asia, maybe Southeast Asia, maybe Singapore would have been another place where they could have done. But I'm glad somebody is looking at India design. It is also an opportunity for Indian designers to shine, right? So I think we already have the Ethers team in this config in San Francisco or wherever this config is going on. In this config, the Ether team is there, which is a good addition. So that's nice. I think a lot of people don't give Indian design team that much credit like we deserve. Like obviously there has been no segmentation saying that hey, design team is better or Pakistan design team is not better or UK design team is not better or China design team is better. Nobody's has done that kind of differentiation. We have only said, German car design, Italian whatever, uh, cloth design, all of that we have said. But in general, if you look at our apps versus US apps, we are at par with whatever they are building, right? Like in terms of design, we are at par. We might have borrowed a lot from the West, but we are at par with them also. So it makes sense. It is a good exposure for Indian designers as well. So all in for India config. I think I'll have no money saved up this year. First Fred again concert, and now Fig config in India. Okay, so you guys are going for Fred again, is it? Interesting. I saw somewhere that Fred had posted a Instagram story roaming around in Indranagar in auto. So that's crazy. I'm not sure if they're making designers better or making developers job tough, because all these things how developers implement. No, I think all of this is made with code, right? It would be much easier to ship. I mean, I'm not saying easier on day one, but eventually people will figure out. Somebody will write a blog and will move forward. It will not be that tough. They're like good for creative development firms. That's right. Yeah. For all of these agencies, right? Creative agencies, for them, it is definitely useful, because what they will do, they will say, okay, I'll do branding. In that branding, they will come up with all these templates, etc. So all these shaders, etc. They will build your design system, and they will maintain the design system maybe, right? And they will share. You remember long back I had shared one, I don't know, on my story or on my Instagram, but I had mentioned that somebody had mentioned that the way this agency are going to work is, so he was basically saying designers are going to die out, and the model that he was proposing was there will be design agencies, they will own your design system, and maybe once in a month or once in a quarter you would just speak to them, update stuff on your design system, but most of the building stuff in a company will be done by agents, etc. Right, the human taste factor you will basically outsource it. You will not have designers in your team, but it will be, in some agencies, and that agency will be managing multiple number of companies at the same time, right? That is a model that somebody was proposing, somebody with again a lot of influence. I forgot the name. He had an Indian name, I forgot the name, but that was one model that was being proposed. And all of this delight level feature that we saw today also aligns with, you know empowering the design system team basically. Anyway, like I said, expert visuals, motion, UI, all designers can contribute to the same canvas. Yes, right. Delight doesn't have to break a design system. If it is a part of the system, right, then how does it surprise a user? You have to think about it that way, right? The reason I said delight is anti-design system is because delight by itself is a anti-pattern, right? Everything is done in a pattern. Delight breaks that pattern, which is why it is a delight. You think about a joke. You say three things or two things in a certain direction and suddenly move the direction. So because the pattern matching breaks, is why there is a laughter, right? I mean, if you break a joke, it's like that. It's a pattern break. Same with delight. A delight is basically a pattern break. Patterns are basically built by design system. So that's my thought on why I feel it a delight is a anti-design system thing. But if you built in that delight into your design system with all your shaders, etc., I don't know, maybe yes, you can call it delight. But yeah, anyway, where to watch config on YouTube. On Apparently it's available on YouTube. Okay, cool. So that's it. There was one question on career. Let me just address it, and after that, we would go for dinner. Okay, not sure. Okay, okay. What was your earlier question? Okay, let me look at that. Now, we content. I am 23 and considering UI UX, but AI has me worried. Am I too late to start? And do you think the field still has strong long-term career and salary growth? Nobody can say that about any field right now. That there is a long-term career and there is salary growth, etc., etc. But you got to start somewhere, right? I think a good model to follow is, see, tomorrow, I mean, where the direction is heading to is a merger of a lot of different domains, right? Maybe developer is trying to learn design and also a bit of PMing, right? So that he becomes a builder, a owner of a feature in a company, right? Similarly, a designer is trying to learn development and also trying to learn PMing, right? Everybody is trying to reach the same spot. It depends on which path somebody has started. So a developer who becomes a designer, or learns design and becomes a builder, will be a tech first builder, right? Similarly, a designer becoming a builder will be a design first builder, right? You see that in PMs, by the way, right? A PM who has come from finance background would be more of a finance background PM. Similarly, a PM who has come from a tech background, engineering के बाद MBA करके has become this, or he has developed for 5 years, then transition. He becomes a tech PM, right? So we have seen that pattern in the industry. I'm not saying that this is a complete fantasy. We have seen that pattern in the industry where, when two things are merging, you can start from either ways, right? You can start from management, go into coding. You can start from coding, go into management. You can start from coding, learn design, and become good at both the worlds, right? Or you can start from design and become both the worlds, right? So now, if your interest is in UI UX, right, you start there, right? That is your best place to start. You cannot start maybe in coding just because the market is bad, but your interest is not there. If your interest is not there, you will not be able to become a good coder, right? So if you feel that UI UX aligns with your skill set and your goal, you start there. Now, wherever life takes us, we'll figure out, right? But at least you start there. If the industry demands you to learn, front end coding, etc., maybe you will have to learn, right? There is no other way. But at least you will have a decent starting point, right? It's not like it. My point of saying is that learning UI UX is not going to be a waste of your money and time and energy, right? So that's what I'm saying. It's not like pure UI UX design you will not be able to get a job. I think current market mein you can get a job, right? But if it takes you 1 year, which is very much possible, that it takes you 1 year to be excellent at UI UX design, again mainly because the ceiling has also risen, right? So you will figure out in about 6 months, you will figure out what is the next thing that you need to learn, right? You can start with UI UX. I would suggest you start with UI UX, then figure out how you want to differentiate yourself from the market. Is it to double down on design itself, or is it to double down on an aspect of design, maybe design system, motion design, copywriting, UX research, whatever, right? You can decide to double down on one of the design tracks, or you can decide to double down on some auxiliary tracks like product management or data analytics. I don't know, uh, coding development, front end development, etc., right? At least you start somewhere. Don't be overwhelmed by so many things in front of you. Take your first step. Don't think about the staircase, think about the first step, right? So go ahead and at least give yourself 6 months to learn UI UX design. Be really good at it. There will be jobs in the industry, don't worry. Okay. um Sage is saying now in October there's gonna be flood of stories on Insta by designers. 110%. And it should be. I think we should be more vocal. I'm sad that we don't have enough you know s- strong voices behind us. That's the sad reality. I would be happy with more if more and more people would have backed design rather than just backing developers all the time. I understand where they're coming from. I mean, it's almost like code is the atom of softwares, right? Or molecules of softwares. Design is more like the skin and the functionality and all those things. For a lot of people it is still skin, so they're still saying, hey, uh, design is all about taste, and eventually taste, which is almost like makeup, right? So and and people are saying, hey, taste is something that can be automated by AI, which to some extent is actually true, that taste will be automated, because we don't create new taste all the time, right? Think about minimalism. For how long have we been following the Apple standards of what is good design, right? So hence that's that, right? We don't have a lot of voices behind us, especially influential voices. Me with a mic and 20 people online, I'm not a voice. Or with whatever 100,000 followers on Instagram, right? So we are not as such influencers. The influencers are people who are valued in the Silicon Valley, right? If they don't back design as a field, that's where things are going down for us and for Figma stock as well. So that's that. Anyway, I hope this was fun, and I think it's 11, 15, 16. We'll try to do more of these live stream. If you like it, let me know in the chat if you have been there for some time. It's been 2 hours now. Let me know if you found it cool to hang out on these chats, and if we should be doing more of these live streams, let me know. I'll wait for another 60 seconds for you to put in your comments in the chat, and after that we'll wrap up. Let me know how was the live stream, and should we be doing more of these. Also give me pointers to improve on, because I'm not a seasoned live streamer. I would like to be a little better as well, much more planned maybe. But yeah. Okay, Sage is saying loved it, do more. Yeah, it was great, says Abhishek. JKD 619. 619, are you a Rey Mysterio fan by any chance? Or is it just that your phone number ends with 619? My phone number, by the way, ends with 619. Thanks for the thoughts. Okay. Mansoor says, please do. All right, cool. Okay. More of these. Let's go. Let's go. All right, folks, then. That's it for this live stream. Thank you for joining in. I was not expecting that so many people will stay till this long. But thank you for joining in. We'll do more of these. We'll have some more agendas. We'll not rely on config jab hoga tab jaake karenge. We'll have some better agendas. If you are in any of my group, Curiosity, or any of my WhatsApp group, or if you are part of my Instagram, then to message me any ideas that you think that, hey, this can be live streamed, hey, these are the topics that you can do, etc., etc., right? You can do that. Okay, cool. That's all. Thank you so much. Have a nice night, and tomorrow maybe if you find some time, tinker with all this new feature that was announced. Thank you so much, and I'll see you the next time we stream. Bye bye.